Coming up in today's episode, we're talking tech with the Onwa AIS combined chart plotter. I'm going through setting it up with my boat's information, setting up the Wi-Fi so I can use my phone as a second screen for AIS, and testing it out to see what the range is like with an aerial that's not even on top of my mast and just next to me inside the galley. Hello and welcome back. Recently I acquired a 41-year-old boat built in 1984, and I am trying to get her ready to be solar sailor ready. So in my mission to do that, I've acquired a few pieces of kit. Top of my list was a chart plotter with something called AIS. Now, rather than going through the process of installing a whole AIS system into my boat, I decided to look at chart plotters that came with AIS systems already built in. And that led me onto this, the Onwa KP27 chart plotter and AIS combined from AIS Marine in the UK. Lovely chap down there, and I had a call with him. Had a call and spoke to him, and he hooked me up with everything that I would need, hopefully, to get AIS and the chart plotter on my boat. So the whole unit is in here. We've also got a mini aerial. I didn't really fancy climbing the mast, so I've got one that will clip onto the back of the pit at the back. Stern. Cable to run from the antenna to the chart plotter, and also a little wireless device. Supposedly you plug this into the wiring at the back of the chart plotter and it lets you use a iPad or a phone as a slave system using Navionics or another boating app. So that sounds quite interesting. So I thought I'd get that as well and give it a go and see what happens. So let's open it up and have a look at what we got. So inside the box we've got the paperwork invoice. I believe this is from AIS Marine. Yep. And a bunch of instructions on there, which is going to be useful. We've got the quick start manual. We've got a cutting template to be used if you're mounting it inside the boat. I am going to keep mine separate. The actual chart plotter itself, with its cover, the bracket, and the mounts for the bracket if you're going to screw it to the boat. Again, I might use that because I'm thinking about maybe doing it on like a swing out wooden piece to go inside the companionway. We'll see, I haven't decided yet. The GNSS GLONASS GPS antenna, and the power unit, which I believe is rated for 12 volt. And that's everything inside the box. So the first thing to do is to figure out the power options and how we're going to do it. The device itself, I went for the 7-inch screen version because I always like seeing more of a screen than less of a screen. Simple enough. And it was about 20 quid in between difference, so for 20 quid I'd rather have a 7-inch screen than a 5-inch screen. Back of the ports, I'm still learning about this myself as I go. So we've got power, we've got the antenna, we've got the AIS antenna, and then we've got something else that I'm not entirely sure of. Oh, no, I'm supposed to still at the top. Deucer. So I'll figure that out as I go along. So cool. Let's get this wired in and go from there. Okay, so you get the usual warning when you turn it on, telling you that it's not to be used as a sole use of navigation. It's only there as advisory, and they hold no liability should anything happen to you whilst using this plotter. Standard stuff, really. It does come with an SD card that you can download maps for. One really good thing about Onwa is that you can get the maps for free. So you can update your chart plotter with the latest updates of Navionics, CMAP or K-charts, and they are free to download from the Onwa site. So that is a huge bonus. Still got to pay for the Navionics subscription if you want to use the iPad or phone as a slave system, but at least one has free. Right, now we know that it works, we will attach the other little bits. So we've got a GPS antenna. Now there's not a lot of metal in my boat, it's GRP hull and a lot of wood interior, so I'm quite happy with just sticking this magnetized to the top of the box. It's got a little magnet inside of it, and that's actually quite powerful, so that can just sit there. We'll wire that in. Of course, for boats that have got a lot of metal work, you can obviously run this quite long cable, I think it's about 4 or 5 meters long, out of a porthole, or put an actual through fitting in, and you can run your antenna outside. I don't need to do that, so mine's just going to stay like that on top of the unit. Simple enough. So I'm just touching the bracket onto it now, and hopefully you can see this on the camera, but all these little chamfers here make for a nice strong clicking sound when you fix it, so you can pretty much guarantee it's not going to move from the moment you put it in. One in there, one in there, and obviously if you want to adjust it, just undo them and re-click it. But for me, I mean, that is massively high for what I need, so we'll unspin them. Click it down, spin it back up again. One goes one way, one goes the other. The guys from AIS Marine have sent me a very good set of instructions here, so putting my MMSI number and stuff into this chart plotter shouldn't really be a problem. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. Every time you turn it on, you're going to get the same warning message just to let you know that you're using this at your own risk and that they are not responsible should you end up running aground. It states on there stuff like sea colour is not relative to depth and all that kind of stuff that you should be learning as you go along anyway. Look at that, it's already got AIS on. I've not even put the antenna in yet. So currently it's receiving AIS from vehicles close to me. It's not touchscreen, so if I want to go look at something, there's one here. Information, underway using engine, basic information on there. Another one here, this is at my home berth in Plymouth Yacht Haven. The Aquitaine? Aquitaine? No, I think it's Aquitaine. Pleasure craft has currently got its AIS on in the marina. We can see it on there. Right, let's put mine in. Menu. Menu. AIS menu. Setup. MMSI setup. MMSI number. Right, so now I can put in my vehicle's details. So we are 2, 3. Call sign. It's a new vessel to me, so I'm still learning the call sign. Name. My vessel is called the Santana. Tracking group ID. Don't believe I have that one. I am not a fishing vessel, I am a sailing vessel. Right, I'll put it on again because if you press read, it actually just doesn't save it for you. So you need to press right, which if I read the instructions is what I should have done. So now we've put the AIS details into my plotter. I've put my MSI number, my call sign, my yacht's name. Only thing I haven't done is done the size of the boat yet, which I will do once I find the measurements again for. I know it's 28.5 foot, but it's got to be a metric, and I don't know what the beam is, so I'll figure that out and put that in, but that'll be going through the same menu as what we've already done, so that's easy enough. Let's move on to the next bit, the antenna. Like I said at the start, I went for a stubby one. I didn't fancy going up the mast. Didn't really want to go there at all, really. So I'm going to have to, because the wind breeder's broke on my boat, so something else to fix. Everything. Getting used to boat life is just lots of repairs in different places. So once I've done this, I've got to look at my wind reader. When you order the cable from AIS Marine, you get an option of how long a cable you want to order. So I asked for 6 meters and they made it up on there for me. You can ask to have neither ends attached, just have them sent to you, or you can have one end made and the other end left free so you can run the cable through the boat. Because like I said at the start, I don't intend to run this through the boat. I've asked for both ends to be fixed so I can put it up straight away. So here we are. One end goes into the back. And we'll stick that in there. Does that come down? Yeah, it does. There we go. Push them in. I'll put it up to the camera, but you'll see on there's some little serrated teeth. There's only 4 on this end, and on the other end there's many, and that helps you line up the connection. So you can then just screw it down, and then we'll put the waterproofing one back over, and we're in, sorted. So I thought I'd show up marine traffic. It's a AIS tracking system, but it uses internet AIS, not live AIS. So I was looking to see whether my vessel had shown up yet on there, but it might not because there's probably a delay on it. Especially when you consider looking at it that according to this, the sailing vessel integrity is still in the marina here, yet on live AIS, it's currently passing the end here by where apparently Mr. Blue Sky is, but that's no longer there in the channel. Ripples I know is a vessel in the marina, and I'm pretty sure it's currently still moored up over here. So I'm not too worried about that. That's not Ripples. There's Ripples. Yeah, on the pontoon berth where I thought it'd be. Like I say, the app is a web-based AIS, so it has a bigger delay, so I'm not actually expecting to see myself on there right away. What I might do is give a call to a friend of mine who's also on his boat in the marina and see if I've shown up on his. I was about to go and get a tape measure out and measure my boat, then I realised that I can just put the name of the vessel in and look at sailboat data and have a look at what I need to put in itself. So I've got a Cobra 850, built in 1984. It is 8.69 meters long. The paperwork says to round up. I don't like rounding up because if you round up, it usually means marinas are going to charge you more when you come in. Oh well, let's put it in. So go back to where we were. Menu. Setup. MMSI setup. We were all the zeros. Okay. So, distance A. It's mainly about knowing how big a vessel is in total, so it doesn't really matter relatively where my antenna is, so long as the information is correct. That's the water line. Beam is 2.9 meters, so it's going to be 3 meters on here. Beam is between C and D. So what I'm going to do is go down to C and put 2. And then go down to D and put 1. So I've got 3 meters total. And then for the length, all done. Cool little side bit on here as well. I haven't played with it loads yet, but on the alarm settings of the device, you can add in anchor alarms, arrival alarms, speed alarms, voltage, all that kind of stuff if you're wiring up more. But for me, I will mainly be using the anchor alarm, obviously, when at anchor. So that's handy to have. I will probably also put an app on my phone, because why not have redundancies? You might as well. Right, so that is the chart plotter in. Now that's done, the last bit that I bought is the little Wi-Fi dongle. This is supposed to help or allow the chart plotter to generate its own Wi-Fi hotspot, which then allows me to hook up my phone as a slave system. So let's have a go at installing this. to wire this up, I've got the quick start guide from the box that lets me know what all the other colours are that are going in and out of the back of the device, and I've got the AIS Marine quick start guide here as well, or wiring guide, which will let me know what I need to connect up to which. So connect 12 volt to 12 volt. Okay, so we've wired up the Yakka device, we've spliced our power. As it happens, I've got a spare bit of cable around here, so we splice that together, and we've loaded up our Navionics app. Here we can see it before I connect to the Wi-Fi. I've got where I am, I can see me, but I can't see anybody else. We'll go into Wi-Fi and connect the Yakka, refresh it, and now when we load it, all the other boats in the local area are showing off my maps along with my chart plotter, and from that I can use my phone as normal. Because I've got the Wi-Fi slave unit up on the device panel above, I don't need to be able to move this around, so my plan is to permanently mount it here in the back so I can read it and still get the radio if I need to, and the radar screen. So the plan's quite simple. I've got this little mounting bracket that I went and got from the chandlery, pop it in the back, and hopefully just screw it to the back of it. So let's do that now. So I've been playing about with this for a little while now. One thing I will say is a damn sight easier to get the AIS from the chartplotter Wi-Fi to my Android phone and my iPad tablet. I had an old iPhone that I was going to try and use as an in-play slave and just leave it here on the boat, but it's actually becoming quite difficult to try and get the AIS to load up every time. The maps will load up, Navionics will load up, but it won't put the AIS overlay unless I keep playing around with it. Whereas with the iPad and the Android, it works flawlessly. So I'm wondering if it's because it's a bit of outdated tech, or there's an update I've got to do. But either way, if you've got an Android phone, works fine. With the iPad, works fine, which is weird, because if it works with an iPad iOS, you would have thought it would work absolutely fine with an iOS phone. So, something else to play around with. But I will show you one here. What is quite good is obviously the fact that I've got both doing it at the same time, so I don't have to worry about which slave system to use. And also, considering my antenna is only small, I'm picking up a fair amount of decent boats. According to the chart plotter, I've got 47 hits on the AIS, and it's only mounted up there. I've only got it led on top of the bimini, just to test it out. So from here I'm picking up, here's me in Plymouth Yacht Haven, I'm picking up boats around the corner, and if I zoom out, I'm even picking out ones that are coming into the channel, and even one that's out in the breakwater. Now of course I only wanted this to do a collision avoidance and for my own chart plotting, so the fact that I can see that far afield is more than I actually wanted. That's great. It gives me the alarms if I'm going to hit stuff, and obviously for proximity and stuff like that, and also the anchor dragging and whatever, which is what I really wanted it for. So I'm really happy with this. So we're going to see how it goes with a few sails, and we'll report back later. And we're going to end the video there. So if you enjoy this kind of content, please like the channel, pop a comment below, and subscribe if you want to. There's a lot more coming up now that I've got Santana, and there'll be a lot more trips coming up. So until we see you on the next one, thank you for watching, take care, and we'll see you again. Goodbye.